Welcome to NFL Nexus, the place where we go deep on the stories that are really shaping the league. Today, we are laser-focused on one of the NFL's most iconic franchises, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And right now, they are staring down a massive, monumental crossroads. You know, this isn't about just one tough choice. They're facing two absolutely franchise-altering decisions that are going to send ripples through this organization for years to come. I mean, these choices aren't just about their shot at a title next season, they're about the very identity of this team for the next decade. How they handle this? Well, it could either be a masterclass in building a modern team, or it could be a cautionary tale that every other team in the league studies for a very, very long time.
So here's our roadmap for breaking down this absolutely pivotal moment for the black and gold. We're going to kick things off with the biggest, most headline-grabbing question of them all, the future of Aaron Rodgers. And we'll dive right into the pretty harsh criticism his whole situation has been getting from some real legends of the game. After that, we'll flip the coin and look at the actual case for bringing him back for one last ride. Then we're going to pivot to the second and, honestly, equally massive decision, locking down the future of their defense with their star cornerback, Joey Porter Jr. We'll get into the jaw-dropping price tag for a player like that, and then we'll tie it all together to really understand the full weight of the choice that's in front of Pittsburgh right now.
All right, first up, the question that is on every sports show, every podcast, every single fan forum in Pittsburgh right now: what in the world is going on with Aaron Rodgers? And look, this isn't just about who's taking snaps under center. This is a debate about the entire philosophy of the team and where it's headed.
This right here is the multi-million-dollar question, and it's casting a shadow over the entire organization. After a 2025 season that really felt like his farewell tour, Rodgers himself started to, publicly entertain the idea of strapping on the helmet for one more year. At 43 years old, that's a massive deal, not just for his own legacy, but for a front office that's kind of stuck right now. They're trying to figure out, are we building a roster to win a Super Bowl with this guy right now, or are we starting over from scratch without him?
The whole story around his future just flipped on a dime, and it all comes down to one single event. When the legendary coach Mike Tomlin finally stepped away after that 2024 season, pretty much everyone around the league just assumed, okay, that's it for Rodgers. He's going to hang him up. The story felt like it was over. But then, the Steelers made a truly fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of shocking move. They hired Mike McCarthy, the guy who coached Rodgers for almost a decade in Green Bay. That one hire completely changed the conversation and threw a massive wrench into all the retirement speculation. And this is where the story gets that delicious, almost unbelievable layer of irony. The Steelers are literally banking their future on recapturing the magic of a coach-quarterback duo whose single greatest moment, winning Super Bowl XLV, came by beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It is an incredibly bold bet that this legendary partnership has one more championship run left in the tank, even if it's for the team they once beat on the biggest stage.
And listen, this isn't just wishful thinking from fans anymore. The whispers around the league are getting louder. It's become a legitimate, growing belief. And the logic is pretty clear, right? Rodgers knows McCarthy's offense inside and out, probably better than anyone on the planet. And McCarthy knows exactly how to handle the massive talent and, let's face it, the unique personality of his future Hall of Fame QB. The front office is dreaming of this seamless transition, a high-powered offense just hitting the ground running from day one of training camp. But, and this is a huge but, with all that incredible potential comes a very real, very frustrating problem. As this whole will he or won't he drama drags on, a lot of people are starting to argue that Rodgers is basically paralyzing the franchise. The team can't make a serious move for another quarterback, they can't figure out their salary cap for free agency, all because this one giant question mark is just looming over everything they do.
And that frustration isn't just coming from impatient fans on Twitter. Oh no. It is now being echoed, and echoed loudly, by some of the most respected voices in football history. They're looking at this whole situation and seeing a pattern that they believe hurts the team way more than it helps the player.
Wow, that is just a blistering, pull-no-punches critique from Hall of Fame receiver Cris Carter, who, as you know, never holds back. He's talking about a trend he's seen with these older, elite quarterbacks, and he puts Aaron Rodgers right at the center of it. In his view, this long, public dance isn't about making a thoughtful decision. He's calling it straight-up selfish. So let's be really clear about what Carter means by selfish here. He's not attacking Rodgers' play on the field or how much money he makes. He is talking about the massive domino effect that this indecision creates. I mean, think about it. Free agents who might want to come to Pittsburgh, they're waiting. The front office can't finalize other contracts because they have no idea what Rodgers' cap hit is going to be. Their entire draft board could change based on his choice. Literally, every single part of the organization is just stuck in neutral until he makes up his mind.
And then Carter just doubles down. He's essentially arguing that this shouldn't even be a complicated choice for Rodgers. I mean, come on, he's 43 and he's got this deep history with Mike McCarthy. Where else would he go? Pittsburgh is the only place that makes a lick of sense. So in Carter's mind, the fact that this is dragging on for so long, well, it suggests it's more about soaking up the media spotlight than it is about a truly difficult decision between a bunch of different options.
So at the end of the day, the Steelers are just caught. On one hand, you have to show a certain level of respect to a legend like Rodgers. But on the other hand, every single day that goes by without an answer is another day they might be falling behind in the nonstop arms race that is the NFL. This uncertainty has completely taken over the narrative for the team, and it's overshadowing everything else they need to get done this offseason.
Okay, so with all that criticism and all that frustration, you have to be asking, why would the Steelers even tolerate this? Why are they playing this waiting game? Well, to get their side of the story, you got to look past all the drama and really focus on what Rodgers brought to the table in 2025 and the hope he still represents for a fan base that is desperate for another title.
Let's be real, by almost any measure, his 2025 season was a huge success. After years of bouncing around with different quarterbacks, Rodgers was the steady, veteran presence they were starving for. He didn't just manage games, he made the whole offense better. He brought a spark, a certain swagger, and a downfield passing game that had been missing for years. And his leadership, you could just feel it. In the huddle, in the locker room, he rallied that team and made everyone around him elevate their game.
And yet, after all that regular season success, it all came to a screeching halt in the most brutal way possible, a 24-point blowout loss, at home, in the first round of the playoffs. It was just a jarring slap of reality. It was this painful reminder that even with Rodgers playing well, this team, as it was built, might still be miles away from being a real Super Bowl contender. All the good vibes from the whole season just vanished in 3 hours.
And that one game put a giant spotlight on the team's biggest weakness for everyone to see. Against that ferocious Houston Texans pass rush, the Steelers' offensive line just got dismantled. Rodgers was running for his life on practically every single play. It was this stark reminder that even a quarterback as great as Rodgers isn't a miracle worker. He can't fix every single problem on the roster by himself, and at 43 years old, he sure as heck cannot run a collapsing pocket all night against an elite team.
And that, right there, leads us to the ultimate gamble. Does the Steelers front office believe that if they just patch up the offensive line, they can count on that old Rodgers-McCarthy magic to carry them on one last fairy tale Super Bowl run? Or was that playoff disaster a clear sign that Father Time is the one opponent that even a legend like Aaron Rodgers just can't beat?
All right, now we need to pivot, because while the entire football world is, for good reason, completely obsessed with the quarterback drama, the Steelers' front office is juggling a second, equally massive decision at the exact same time. And this one has nothing to do with turning back the clock and everything to do with the long-term health and future of this franchise. We're talking defense.
Let me introduce you to Joey Porter Jr. Now, if that name rings a bell for Steelers fans, it definitely should. He is, of course, the son of the fiery Steelers linebacker and Super Bowl champ Joey Porter Sr. But in just a couple of seasons, man, he has carved out his own incredible legacy. He has proven, without a doubt, that he is not just some guy riding his dad's coattails. He is a legit, top-tier, shutdown cornerback, the kind of foundational player you build an entire defense around for the next 10 years.
Now here's where a little contract detail that most people miss creates huge pressure on the Steelers. So because the Miami Dolphins had to forfeit their first-round pick in 2023, there were only 31 picks in that first round. The Steelers took Porter with the 32nd overall pick, which made him technically the first pick of the second round. Now that little detail has massive financial consequences because it means the team does not get the fifth-year option that comes with all true first-round picks, and that option is a huge advantage for teams. Without it, Porter's rookie contract is up after 2026, which means the clock is ticking and the time to get a long-term deal done is right now, this summer.
And his play on the field has made getting that extension done an absolute must. He's been a starter since he walked in the door, he's been durable, and he's been crazy productive, swatting away a career-high 14 passes last season. Now, sure, has he gotten some flack for drawing a few too many penalties? Yeah. But that's often the price you pay for having one of those elite physical corners who lives on the absolute edge and whose job is to go out there every week and completely erase the other team's #1 wide receiver. Let's put some hard numbers on his dominance, because this is just wild. When quarterbacks threw at a receiver he was covering last season, their combined passer rating was a pitiful 57.2. To put that into perspective, if a starting QB had that rating for a whole season, they would be, by a country mile, the worst starting quarterback in the entire NFL.
So what Joey Porter Jr. does is he basically turns whoever he's covering into a non-factor. That is the literal definition of a shutdown corner.
And check this one out, because this number might be even more impressive. He allowed just 5.0 yards per target. What that means is, even on the very rare chance that a receiver actually caught a ball against him, they went absolutely nowhere. He's not just stopping the big explosive plays down the field, he's stopping any successful plays, period. He basically allows the defensive coordinator to just take a Sharpie and cross off one whole side of the field from the opponent's game plan.
So, as I'm sure you can guess, that type of elite, game-wrecking production, well, it doesn't come cheap. Not in today's NFL, where passing is king. It's going to command a massive, market-resetting contract. And that leads the Steelers to their other huge, 9-figure decision. And just to add another layer of pressure here, there's a long-standing, unbreakable rule in the Steelers organization. They do not, under any circumstances, negotiate player contracts once the regular season starts. This isn't just a suggestion. It is a hard and fast policy they have stuck to for decades. So that creates this very firm, can't-be-moved deadline. If a deal for Porter Jr. isn't done by week 1, they have to put it on ice until next offseason, when you know his price tag is only going to be even higher.
So, what kind of money are we talking about here? What's the ballpark figure? Well, according to Mark Kaboly, who is a really respected Steelers insider, a 3-year extension for Joey Porter Jr. could be worth a mind-boggling $100 million. Let's just sit with that for a second. This isn't just a big contract. It's a monumental, 9-figure investment that completely changes how a team can build its roster for years to come.
And that $100 million number, it isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's a reflection of where the league is at right now. The market for true #1 corners is just exploded. The top guys of the position are now making over $31 million a year. So, as a young, star player who is only getting better and just about to turn 26, Joey Porter Jr. is in the perfect spot to become one of the highest-paid defensive players in the entire NFL. All right, so we've gone through the short-term, high-stakes drama with the veteran Aaron Rodgers. And we've broken down the long-term, high-cost investment in the young star Joey Porter Jr. Now, let's put it all together and look at the true, philosophical dilemma that the Pittsburgh Steelers are facing.
This slide right here really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It perfectly shows the two completely different directions this franchise could go. I mean, these are two opposing team-building philosophies. On one side, you have the Rodgers path. It's expensive, it's risky, it's short-term, it's an all-in gamble to try and win a championship right now. And on the other side, you have the Porter path. It's also expensive, but it's a foundational, long-term investment. It's about locking in a blue-chip player for the next 10 years and building for a sustainable future.
And you got to understand, these are not two separate decisions that they can make in a vacuum. No, they are deeply fundamentally connected. The tens of millions of dollars in salary cap space, that budget every team gets, that you would need to keep a 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers on the roster, well, that's the exact same money you need to sign Joey Porter Jr. to that $100 million deal. You can't really do both. Committing to one makes it incredibly difficult, maybe even impossible to commit to the other. It's forcing the front office to make a very clear choice about what their priority is. And so this is the question for the Steelers and for all of you watching. What do you do? Do you shove all your chips into the middle of the table for one last shot at a ring with a legend, knowing that if it fails, the team could be in salary cap hell for years? Or do you make the safer, more responsible, long-term play, locking down the foundation of your defense for the next era, even if it means saying goodbye to your immediate title hopes? There is no easy answer here, and the path the Steelers choose is going to define this franchise for a long, long time. So what would you do? I want to know. Drop your choice in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, do me a favor and hit that like button. And definitely subscribe to NFL Nexus for more breakdowns just like this one. Oh, and before you head out, a really quick and great way to support the channel is by checking out our coloring books. They're perfect for kids, grandkids, even for adults. You can find them using the link in the description or just by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. Thanks so much for watching.